You know what's strange about Messi fans? They don't celebrate the way other fans do. While everyone else is screaming after a goal, you'll find them quietly emotional over a single pass, a hesitation, a flick of the wrist nobody else even noticed. The world assumes this is just fandom. But psychology says something very different. What looks like obsession with one player is actually something deeper. Psychologists call this pattern recognition the brain's tendency to fixate on subtle signals of mastery rather than loud outcomes. Research in cognitive psychology suggests the people drawn to Messi aren't drawn to the trophies. They're drawn to something in themselves. And if you recognize yourself in what follows, pay attention. 1. Psychologists call this pattern recognition. Your brain isn't built to admire the obvious. The prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for analysis and foresight, lights up when you spot something subtle before everyone else does. Most fans see a finished play. You see the 3 decisions that led there. You replay the same 5 seconds of footage until you find what nobody else flagged. You notice hesitation in a defender's hips, a glance that changes everything, a pass that wasn't risky, it was inevitable. You don't watch football, you read it. Most people around you have no idea why you do this. What others call overthinking a sport is actually elite-level perception. 2. Psychologists call this emotional attunement. Your nervous system doesn't just respond to outcomes. It responds to effort, to vulnerability, to the small human moments hiding inside competition. Research in social psychology suggests people high in attunement bond with authenticity, not applause. This is why a missed penalty moves you more than a hat trick. You feel the weight before the world reacts to it. You defend him not because he's flawless, but because you sense what it costs to keep trying in front of millions. You've always been the one who notices when someone is hurting before they say a word. What looks like blind loyalty is actually a finely tuned radar for what's real. 3. Psychologists call this an internal locus of evaluation. Unlike people who measure worth through noise and spectacle, your brain weighs value by internal signals, consistency, quiet mastery, effort with no need for applause. This is rooted in how early experiences shape what we learn to trust as real achievement. You've never needed the loudest person in the room to convince you they were the best. You trust what holds up over time, not what performs well in a single moment. You've probably been called too calm about things other people get hysterical over. That's not indifference, that's discernment. What others mistake for low energy is actually quiet, unshakable certainty. 4. Psychologists call this stress inoculation. When you watch someone face repeated failure losses, harsh criticism, years of being told he wasn't enough and come back transformed, your brain registers it as proof. Neuroplasticity research shows we're wired to find hope in evidence that change is possible, not just promised. You don't just enjoy a comeback story, you needed one. Somewhere in you is a memory of being doubted, of being told you peaked too early or never would, and watching someone rewrite that ending rewires something in you too. You don't cry at the trophy. You cry at the years it took to get there. What looks like nostalgia for an athlete's redemption is actually your own resilience reflected back at you. If this is you, understand something. Being moved by mastery instead of noise is not over-attachment. It's not just sports. It's proof that you were built to notice depth where others only see surface, to feel loyalty rooted in truth, not hype. You don't follow greatness. You recognize it because some part of you has always been chasing the same quiet, unglamorous kind of becoming. If you love understanding why people connect the way they do, hit subscribe. Because on this channel, we don't just watch behavior, we decode it.